Angelina.
And I'm David. And it's the Survivor finale.
Finale!
This has been such a good season, and the finale delivered.
Such a good season. Like, I'm so excited for a winner, but I'm so sad that this is over.
I know. This cast was so fun to watch.
They were so good.
So it starts off, everybody's looking for that idol, right?
Oh, yeah. The whole group is like, who can sleep?
Nobody's embarrassed. Nobody's trying to hide it. Everybody's just out on their own trying to find this idol overnight into the next day. And Angelina's the one that finds it. Well, she finds the clue.
Was so great.
Yeah.
Because it was like, who's it going to be? And then it's like, Angelina's like,
yeah, right. So she finds a clue to the idol, and then she's got
But what a mess!
Oh my, she spills the clue, she loses the clue, she can't lug the ladder, it turns into this mad dash to try to get to the top of the rock.
Going up to the wrong rock area.
Yes.
It's not even the right area, she's too far up, she's falling, she's
out of her mind.
Herself.
Yeah, she's like 100 feet in the air, she can't get down the ladder, then she kind of gets busted because she's near the well, so she fakes that she fell and hurt her back. It's just a mess, and she doesn't find the idol at that moment.
So, all for naught. This is nothing.
So then we go to the immunity challenge, and this was a big puzzle one. They had to do the puzzle staircase, and then there's this huge 63-piece puzzle at the end. Kara has a huge lead, but Nick comes from behind and wins it. And
it was close, so it was like a nail biter.
Yeah, because Angelina was almost done too.
Nick pulls it out.
But Nick, he got that puzzle.
Another new immunity winner.
Yes, 8th person in a row who's different to win immunity. Crazy stuff.
Very exciting.
He wins reward along with this immunity. So he gets to pick people to go with him, and he picks Angelina and Mike. And Allison is starving. God. And she is devastated.
It is painful to look at Allison. She's
a bag of bones.
She looks hungry.
Yes.
And her speech has slowed.
Yes.
And I'm just so worried about her.
Somebody give her food.
I mean, I wish he would have taken her just to be nice.
Right.
But that's just not the game.
Yeah,
so
and she's like, everybody knows I'm hungry.
Yeah.
But my name's on the chopping block week after week, so she kind of knows it's part of the game.
What a horrible place to be. You have almost been voted out 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
You are so hungry, and no one will throw you a bone.
No one.
I mean, oh my gosh.
Yeah. So they go back to camp and they get this reward feast, and it's right next to the well, which is right next to where this immunity idol is hidden.
Yes.
So they start to eat, and Mike gets wasted.
Mike!
He's drunk.
Mike!
He likes drinking almost as much as Carl does.
Okay, first off, Mike is a bag of bones at this point.
True.
He's gaunt, and you just go after the wine?
Yeah, he probably had one glass of wine and was like,
yeah,
ooh,
exactly.
Because Angelina's trying to give a speech. She's like, the three of us are marching into battle, and Mike's like, can we have some cake
Let's
first?
have cake first.
He just can't keep it together. Well, then Angelina, they get to talking about the idol and what if Allison has it, because they're agreeing that they want to go after Allison. But Angelina's face gives everything away.
She's like, guys, I gotta tell you something. Which honestly, as much as we're like, keep it a secret, she was never gonna get it on her own. She needed their help.
Absolutely.
So she reveals, I don't know, I lost the clue.
Right.
I had to climb.
There's this ladder and it's in the rock, and I don't know, will you please help me? Well, Mike can't be bothered to put down the wine.
No.
He's like, look, I'll help, but I'm gonna keep drinking.
Mike going through the woods with a glass of wine.
Glass of wine.
Beautiful.
They're like, we gotta go get the ladder. And he's like, great, let me just bring my wine with me. I'm like,
but then, even as drunk as he is, he finds the clue.
Right. Just there in the sand. I don't know how Angelina didn't find it.
He's doing better than Angelina, and he's wasted.
Right.
So anyway, they all find the idol. She has it.
Yep.
And now they know.
Well, now that Angelina has this idol going into this tribal, she's feeling like she's got a lot of power. So she pulls Allison aside for...
So powerful.
Yeah.
So powerful.
Yes. She pulls Allison aside for a little convo and is saying, I'm in charge. I've really been running the past 3-ish votes, and, we sort of haven't been getting along, but I could maybe be swayed. She's just kind of throwing her weight around now because she feels very comfortable.
I mean, on one hand, Allison was wanting to have this conversation with Angelina because Allison is like, what do I do?
What are my
have
options?
to do something. Let me try to repair this relationship. Let me try to, so she's letting Angelina talk Angelina up.
Right.
And Allison's like, yeah, I know. I need something. Can you help me out?
Right.
And Angelina's like, I don't know. We'll see.
Well, now Mike, he has sworn to Angelina and Nick that he's gonna vote Allison, but he's really starting to think like maybe Davie's the bigger threat. So then he has to work on Angelina and convince her to flip because he wants Nick all to himself and he needs to get Davie out.
Right. He made a statement about Davie and Nick are tight, and he's been working with Nick. He knows he has to get rid of Davie.
Yeah.
So that Nick doesn't have like his plan B or whatever.
Right.
And once Mike said that, I was like, okay, well then Mike is serious and he's going to change this vote.
Yeah.
He starts talking to Allison and
clearly she's on board because she's like, as long as it's not me, great, let's vote Davie.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
So we know that he has to work on Kara and, you know, Angelina, and like, you know, we'll see.
Right.
Angelina's obviously like, I want Allison out, but they leave us hanging for tribal. I'm pretty sure Davie's a goner at this point.
Yeah, but the whole tribal is about like Allison versus Davie, who's the bigger threat. You know, Angelina, again, like, nobody's mentioning her name. Nobody's talking about Mike. They're just sort of like, well, we get to, you know, pick which of these two we want to go.
Once again.
And it turns out Davie's the one.
Ah! So bummed.
That was such a bummer.
I mean, honestly, I didn't want Allison or Davie to go.
It's true, yeah.
I would have preferred other people. I won't say.
Yeah.
At this point, why? What's the point of me saying?
What's the point, right.
But I was extremely bummed to see Davie go.
Bummed, but I have to say I recognize either one is a smart move because they're both really strong candidates to win the game. So
exactly, and that's how this whole season has gone. They saw who were big threats and they got rid of them. And so I have to give the group props for that.
Yeah.
I personally wanted Davie to win or go all the way.
Yeah.
But like, he was a threat, so I get it.
I get it. And he makes a pretty firm statement on his way out.
Yeah.
He's like, whoever orchestrated this, you have my vote for $1 million.
Unless someone tops it.
Yeah. So he's like, people step up, play the game. And he was very gracious in his like exit interview. He's like, look, you know, I'm obviously sad, but like respect to whoever did this because like people need, I came here to like play this game hard and somebody outplayed me. So,
yeah,
you know, I can respect
Now that we know the end though, that's not how he voted.
It's not. Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. So then we go to the next immunity challenge, right? And this is the one where Allison cannot balance. They can barely start.
got it started.
Yeah.
I was so worried for us. I was like, she's just gonna fall right now. She's not even gonna make it through this one.
She can't, like, she has no muscles to do anything anymore, apparently.
God, Allison killed me this last episode.
However, she's the first one who gets her key, and this is the first one to the beach and has a pretty healthy lead going into this.
Yes.
But then again, Nick, I mean, he's right behind her. Like, they're the two in the lead, but he races through that puzzle to win his second immunity in a row.
Second in a row.
The first person all season to win, too. Yeah. And so now he's feeling powerful, right?
Oh,
And he's after Allison again, right?
Well, here's the thing. We should also mention, he was pretty ticked off for being blindsided about Davie.
Mad at Mike.
Not only is Davie an ally of his, but Mike was an ally of his, and Mike is the one that got his other ally out. So he's mad about that.
Right.
So he definitely was on the prowl to win. He is now like, well, let's just see who I want to get out.
Right.
Again, though, once you have immunity, that doesn't mean you are in charge.
Right.
I don't understand where that concept comes from.
Yeah, you're just safe. Yeah.
That doesn't mean people listen to you.
Well, we go back to camp, and now Angelina, she's feeling like she needs a big move, and she's asking people to help her make it, which is so odd.
Let's just say, whatever your feelings are about Angelina, she good TV.
Oh, yeah.
This plan is crazy.
It's crazy.
The fact she's telling people is crazy. But hilarious.
She pulls, it's Mike and, who does she pull? Mike and Nick.
It's her little trio.
Yeah, they're a little trio.
Yeah.
And she's saying, I've got this idol. This is my last chance to play it. So I want to play it, but I want to play it well. I want to play it when it matters. So like,
she doesn't want to play it incorrectly.
Right.
Like,
she's like, help me make a move that the jury is going to think is cool. And Mike's like, no, I don't want to do that. So she's trying to convince them to convince Kara and Allison to vote for Angelina so she can play this idol and those votes are canceled out and then Allison's gonna go home, right? It's a good idea, but like, you have to execute it without telling other people your plan, because sure enough, Mike goes and tells Kara, Angelina's trying to do this like big fireworks display at Tribal and she wants to use this idol and she's got the idol and whatever. And Kara's like, oh.
Yeah, and then somewhere somewhere in there, it also like morphed into, I'm also gonna make a fake idol.
Yeah.
She not only wants to like have a show of like, I'm safe.
Yeah.
But she also wants to like make Allison feel safe.
Yeah.
When she's not.
Right, because she's kind of like, she even says to someone, I think it was Mike at some point, she was like, you know, it's a little bit personal with Allison because they've just been kind of at each other for a while.
Yeah.
So she's trying to embarrass her a little bit on the way out.
Yeah.
By making this fake idol.
Yeah. So Mike's uncomfortable with it. I think he kind of just nods along, but like, I don't know. He tells Kara. Kara tells Allison.
Right.
And somewhere in this conversation, for the first time ever, we hear Mike's name come up.
Yeah, from Kara. I'm like, Kara, thank you. Because Mike has been now controlling the game for several votes.
How many episodes are we like, and Mike's just safe. Once again, no one's even talking.
Nobody's even thinking
Mike's not worried about himself at all. He's just like, who am I going to vote out?
And now I'm thinking, this could be bad because if Kara and Allison are flipping on Mike, it could be pretty easy for them to get Nick on their side at this point because this hour of the show starts off with Nick very upset at Mike for having flipped on him the week before.
Yes.
So I'm like, is Mike headed out the door?
And this is the last chance you get.
Yeah.
If Mike is a threat, which he has really built his resume these past few tribals, then you have to get him out.
Absolutely.
And like they point out, everybody likes Mike.
Yeah.
He's got no enemies in this game.
That's right.
If he sits at the final 3, does he win? Like, this is our time to take him out.
Right.
Took them way too long to figure it out.
Yeah.
So obviously it didn't stick.
In. Right. Now, the last thing we see before we go to tribal, and it was such a throwaway because this whole thing is so dumb, but Allison finds the fake idol. Angelina's right there, and Angelina's like, oh, shut up, like makes a big scene out of it. And Mike is like, this is so ridiculous. Like, can we just go to tribal? So Allison's got this fake idol with her, right?
And she knows it's fake, or at least we think she knows it's fake.
Kara
told some stories.
Right. But she brings it to tribal. You got to. Maybe it's real. Who knows? At tribal, the most interesting thing to me was that Allison kind of calls out Mike.
Oh, right.
This is, again, the first time that Mike's name has come up ever in tribal, and he doesn't handle it particularly well. He's a little annoyed. You know, it's like we're on the last legs of the game here, so he just is having trouble keeping his cool, and he's like, whatever, Allison, like, you could at least leave with dignity, and like, kind of a low blow there, especially to someone who was working with him for a lot of the game, and I think she genuinely considered him a friend.
Right. And she said something like that. She was like, well, his relationship was the one I cared about the most, so, you know.
Nice,
like, she didn't really have much to say, because he just kind
Mike's
of slapped
like,
her.
oh, whatever. Like, kind of still rolling his eyes. I'm like, come on, Mike, like, be nice.
Ooh,
but then, like you said, Allison pulls out this fake idol because she probably knows it's fake, but you never know. So she plays it, and Jeff confirms that it's fake. And Angelina is so smug and like, just like so pleased that her plan is like semi-working.
But semi, because she said, I'm pretty sure this is fake. So it didn't really work, Angelina.
Right. And then Jeff says, okay, I'll read the votes. And then,
Jeff?
I just wanted to play this one too. She just like, thank you. Thank you, Angelina. Thank you, Survivor producers and editors. Like, this has been such a delight all season to see these interruptions.
Delight.
So she interrupts to play her idol, and it's real, and it's wasted because nobody
Zero
votes
for you, Angelina. I mean, must be nice when your problem is, dang, no one voted for me.
Yeah, right. And then the other good thing was like, Angelina toots her own horn louder than anybody I've ever seen. And on her way back from playing the idol with Jeff, she's like, oh, you made me work really hard for that one, Jeff.
I had to climb a wall and I almost fell.
And Gabby's like rolling her eyes in the jury like, oh, give me a break. But ultimately, I thought it was going to be close, but only one vote for Mike from Allison, and Allison's gone.
Everyone voted for Allison.
Yeah.
I just feel like they discovered how good Mike is too late.
Yep.
And they had been talking about Allison for so long that they just couldn't bring themselves to switching.
She was like this like monster that they couldn't slay.
Yeah.
And so it was like, they were just so set on getting her out that they couldn't switch directions.
Yeah.
So then we go to the final immunity challenge.
Here we go.
Yeah. This is the classic ball thing that we've seen a lot of times.
Real easy when it's one ball. Once you get 3 or 4.
Not so easy.
What?
Yeah. And guess what happens? Nick wins his third.
Nick wins for the 3rd in a row.
Sweet. He sweeps the final 3 immunities. That is huge.
Huge. You know, he's already the last David.
Yes.
He's got to be fighting for his life.
Yep.
And he pulls them out, all three.
Yeah, good for him. So now's when he really has the power. It's the final immunity, and he gets to pick that one person to go with him, and the other two will make fire.
Yes.
So everybody's sucking up to him, and they're all downplaying their games.
Oh my
I'm
God,
not a
I barely
threat.
did anything.
Nobody's gonna vote for me. Like, oh, come on, you should definitely bring me.
Well, we were, guessing and analyzing.
Yeah.
And at this point, he's had this little weird trio with him, Angelina, and Mike. So I'm like, I assume he's taking Angelina.
Yeah.
Because Mike, in the final three, he might win. But I don't know that Angelina is as liked as Mike is, so she'd be the easy one to take.
Yeah.
And
I also think potentially he would bring Kara, but I've been really skeptical of Kara's edit this season.
Right.
Because she hasn't gotten a lot of screen time at tribal councils, so it looks to us like she's just kind of there floating, and maybe she's a good person for him to bring because no one's going to vote for her on the jury, but I'm not convinced that we saw the full extent of her game.
Right.
So Nick might have seen her as a bigger threat than we did, just based on the way the show was put together, because we didn't see a whole lot from her for quite a bit of this season. But he ultimately goes with Angelina, and I think it's a smart move because the jury is just kind of rolling their eyes at her at this point because she's too loud about her achievements, you know?
So that is what he does, and he gives them a heads up. He tells them at camp, look, I'm going to go with Angelina. You two are going to make fire. So we see them practice a little bit.
Mike is not confident going into this fire making challenge.
He's talking about anxiety.
Right. His face is like going crazy, and he just like can't, he's like kind of bouncing his legs. He's like, I just, hope if I lose quickly. And like, he's not confident that in this fire making thing. He said in his confessional that it's like his personal nightmare to like have his fate in this game come down to making fire. But
and at the same time, we see Kara just like making fire, making fire, making fire.
Right.
Well.
Then, all of a sudden, Mike's got a towering inferno. He has like the evilest grin behind the thing. It looks like he's about to bust out into like a supervillain laugh.
Yeah, it was like.
Yes. And his rope snaps, and Kara doesn't even get a flame going.
Couldn't get a flame going.
Yeah.
I think that the TV gods were just on Mike's side.
Yes, 100%.
This whole season. Yeah.
And I was glad to see that because for us, it's more fun to have people who, we think have made big moves in the finals. So
absolutely.
Mike versus Nick is a pretty big showdown for me in the final three.
Yeah. At that point, we couldn't decide like who was gonna win.
Yeah.
Mike or Nick.
Yeah. And I even thought as much as we make fun of Angelina, I have said before that I thought she could make a case to win this game. Right. And I do think she's a good talker. So I'm like, I don't know, maybe she's gonna talk her way out of this and get some votes. Who knows?
The thing. She's a great talker / negotiator.
Yeah.
Nick is a public defender, so he knows how to convince people. Yeah. And Mike is a writer.
Hello.
I'm like, these are the three best people to hear state their case, you know?
And I will say, we heard 3 great cases made.
Absolutely.
Like, they all really split the screen time pretty equally in this final tribal. My favorite part, of course. Is Mike.
Can I just,
Sorry, Mike, I don't want to interrupt.
But I just want to say.
I want to go first.
That I got rice.
It was like the perfect full circle moment for Angelina's story this season. For her to interrupt and then bring up the rice at the final tribal.
Yes. All in one. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yes.
So then, for Nick and Mike, it's sort of coming down to Mike he sort of like played down himself for a lot of the game and made himself look like, oh, silly me, I lost my canteen and I didn't do anything. And then Nick is playing up all of these like one-on-one alliances that he made, like the Mason-Dixon and the Rock Stars.
The Kentucky whatever.
Oh, the Kentucky with Elizabeth, yeah.
And Mike brought up a little bit of that too. He was like, I had final 2s with this. And when I saw like Gabby wasn't going to make a final 2 with me, like those were the people I wanted to get rid of.
Yeah.
Everyone did a really good job of stating their strengths and how they were approaching their game.
Yeah.
But they also did a great job of talking about being underdogs and like coming up. You know, obviously Nick could really do it because he's a David.
And he's the last David.
And he has this all shucks mentality.
Yeah, and
he
was the last David with 4 Goliaths left in the final, stages of this game.
Yeah. But like even Angelina was like, no one liked me after the Elizabeth thing. I had to come up, and that's so true.
That is exactly what happened. She built herself back up into this position of being at the center of strategic conversations at the end of the game and really getting to help decide who was going to be eliminated.
Yeah.
After a certain point, no one ever cast a vote for Angelina. So she went
off their radar completely. And she was still making moves and being a part of the conversations, if she didn't rub people the wrong way, she would have had a great case to win.
Totally.
And it was just a personality thing.
It was. It was nice to see Gabby kind of call out that, like, you're sort of up against it as a woman because, you know, if you're emotional, then you're hysterical, and if you're assertive, then you're, you know, aggressive.
You're bossy.
Yeah,
okay,
right.
AKA all of our lives
Real
outside
life.
of reality TV too. But yes, thank you, Gabby.
Right.
That was great. And brought up the statistics of finding idols for whatever reason. Women don't do that.
Right.
So those were great points that were at least brought up because she won.
And Mike had a very nice final moment, I thought, where he, you know, compared the Survivor journey to this rainbow with the pot of gold. And he really does sort of have an uphill battle, too, to fight here. Not only because he's a Goliath, but because, like, he's a successful TV writer and people kind of knew him.
That was not an uphill battle. That was what helped him the whole way, I think.
But I think in terms of awarding him the win, people are going to look and be like, you already have money. You don't need $1 million.
Yes, which is why he spun it that way and had that great emotional speech. Is because you have to. Because Nick just did a great story about how his mom OD'd and he pulled himself from a trailer and now he's a lawyer helping other drug addicts. I mean, hello. That's a story. And Mike was like, you know, he did a great job of like bringing tears to people's eyes and making you feel for him and his journey. Because it is still of value. Even though he didn't have to pull himself up from a trailer.
Right.
Had to pull him up from a mansion. You know.
So then we see, when they go to vote, we see John votes for Nick.
Yes.
And we see Christian votes for Mike. And I think those are the only two votes we see, right?
Those are.
Yeah.
So at this point, we know Angelina got no votes.
Yeah.
Which is what we expected.
Yeah.
It was not as close as I thought it was going to be. Nick won!
Nick won! And I thought he deserved it.
Absolutely.
Because here's the deal, like, they were, they separate the final tribal into, like, outwit and outplay and all this, right? And there was some discussion about Nick about how he outwitted everybody at the start, but then he kind of tapered off. But I think that's because he started to outplay people at the end. That's when he started to win these immunities back to back to back. And so his game, he really had an all-around game that was obviously very effective because he won the $1 million.
Look, you set us up with a show called David versus Goliath.
Hello.
And on the very first episode, you made us feel for those Davids. You made us root for those Davids. And if a David was in the final three, he needed to win. Period. That's what had to happen, and that's what did happen. And how could that jury not vote for the only David?
Yes.
I mean, the Davids had to pull themselves up. Goliaths had majority for so much of the time. We get down to this end, and we have one David left. It's like, how do you not vote for that?
How do you not create the perfect storybook ending to this season of Survivor? And they did. Right.
And as much as, we enjoy Mike because we enjoyed him from The Amazing Race. So we went into this series already liking Mike with a Mike bias a little bit.
Right.
And then he actually played a really good game.
Really good.
Made some great moves. But giving a Goliath who is a celebrity the win just doesn't feel right. You know? Like, great game. It was fun to watch you. But Nick's got to take that win.
And he did. And congrats to Nick. Like, he just played a great game all season.
And he was fun to watch. We were laughing at his, like, making alliance names in the beginning.
Oh my God, I thought he was kind of a joke at the beginning.
Yeah, and that kind of helped him, This whole people you talk to him and he's like, they're like, well, we're not worried about him. He sounds silly. But then you're like, but he's a lawyer, so there's got to be more to him.
Yeah, he played up that aw shucks thing perfectly, and that got him the check, so good for him.
Yay! Yeah. Good finale to a good season.
What a good season. I'm sad it's over.
Yeah. I would like this cast to get back together and do other shows.
Yeah, right.
But together as a cast.
Yeah.
Like, what else?
I know. I do feel like you could assemble this same cast to do a whole other season of Survivor and it would play out completely differently.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. But let's put the whole cast on Big Brother instead.
Yeah, let's do that.
I love that. Yay, you guys. Thank you for watching with us this whole season. We would love to hear your final thoughts on this whole finale. And then we will be back in the winter, spring. I forget exactly, is it February, March, but we'll be back for the next Survivor. But before that,
don't forget
Celebrity Big Brother.
That's right.
That's in January.
And
so
that's going to be like a mad dash because that's like 3 weeks long
3
or
weeks
something. So
1,000 episodes.
Buckle up for that one.
So we'll do that first.
Let us know what you guys thought about the Survivor finale, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.